What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we have got a Horizon 3 wishlist video. Now you're probably asking yourself, Cam, why on earth are you doing a Horizon wishlist video when Horizon 2 is not dead at all? It's got a firm player base and the game isn't dead by any means, and we've still got many hours of Horizon 2 to play. Why on earth are you doing a Horizon 3 wishlist? Okay, this is the reason, and I think it's a pretty valid reason. When developers are developing their game in the kind of thinking stages, that's when they need ideas. I think around about now is when the guys over at Playground Games are going to be doing those, thinking stages. That's when they're going to be, going around the board. They're going to be saying, okay, what do we want from Horizon 3, and what do we want, the game to be placed? Where do we want it? Where do we want the game to be set? What kind of vibe do we want the game to have? This is when they're going to be deciding all that, and this is why I thought it was a really good opportunity to make a wishlist video. Now again, like, Horizon 2 isn't dead by any means, the Horizon 2 videos will still be coming out, but these are just some ideas for you guys at Playground Games if you do end up watching this, and what you could possibly do in the next game, because I imagine you will be starting to think, or you're already thinking about the next game and where it can be placed and whatnot, because obviously Horizon's on a 2-year cycle. So it's kind of to be expected. But yeah, we're going to go on now, and we're going to be talking about the location of the game and where I believe Horizon 3 should be located, and some reasons why, and some of the features that the location itself could have. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so I personally believe that the next Horizon game should be set in Japan. Now, hear me out. I think this would be a really cool idea for you guys at Playground Games. I think Japan is the perfect setting for Horizon 3, and I'm not the only one that has said this. I've seen loads of people in comments, on Skype, in the forums, that want Japan to be the next place where Horizon's based. So I'm going to give you a few reasons, a few possibilities on how the game can be adapted to Japan and Japanese culture, and I'm just going to talk a bit about Japan and what I think the game should entail, because I think there's a few things unique to Japan that could make Horizon 3 truly stand out over some of the racing games. So yeah, we're gonna be getting straight into this. So yeah, let's do this. Okay, so my first suggestion is to bring boss battles back, and this will link into to the point I make after this. But it's to bring boss battles back. I really enjoyed the boss battles in Horizon 1, so if they came back in Horizon 3, that essentially would be great as well. But obviously today we're going to be talking about the location, and I personally believe that Japan is a great place to hold boss battles. In particular, the mountain duels. Now, if you guys, have played Carbon, you'll know how intense those mountain duels are. If you were to bring boss battles back, I personally believe that Japan's mountain passes would be a really good place to stage these. Now, in your free roaming map, you can have 1 or 2 or 3 mountains, maybe 5 mountains, depending on what you wanted to do. But you could have many mountains in the game, and each boss could have its own mountain. So, say you start off with some guy called, I don't know, let's just call him Nick. He's the first boss, and he's kind of the least powerful boss, and he has the easiest mountain. And then obviously the further you go up, the harder the mountains get, and etc, etc. I think that idea essentially is really cool. Similar to obviously Initial D, Carbon had a very similar theme to that. I think that would be really cool, because we haven't seen that in any game of recent. So I think that would be really cool if we could have one-on-one mountain pass battles for the boss battles. I also think that could be really good for the Horizon setting. Like, you've got your main Horizon thing in the middle, and then you kind of race through this mountain pass, and then you could kind of do maybe a mini little city area at the end, leading into the final area where Horizon's actually based, where the Horizon Festival is based. I think that's a really cool idea, and I think that could be really well adapted to Horizon 3 if they did choose to do it. So that's the first idea, is first bringing boss battles back, and then having mountain battles for the eventual boss battle that will follow that. I think that'd be a really cool idea, and I've seen a lot of people comment down below that they would like to see this as well. So that's my first idea. Let's move on to the second one. Okay, my second idea is drift events. Now, as you guys know, Japan itself, it's the home of drift culture. JDM cars are predominantly known now for going sideways, and I think this would be a good time to, in the first time in the Forza series, bring drifting into a Horizon game. I don't believe any game has had any type of competitive drift event. So I think it would be really cool if in Horizon 3 they could bring drift events. Now, whether this was on the mountains or in car parks like we see in Fast and Furious, or you know, wherever it was based, or even on professional tracks like Underground 2 did it, I think drift events in itself would be a really cool premise. Now, how they would pull this off, they can do it in multiple ways. They can do it in the mountain passes, they can do it in, like I said, in like a kind of like a Street X Underground theme style thing, if you don't know what I'm on about. In Underground they had set tracks, like professional tracks, which you could race, and obviously because this is a legal event, I imagine you could probably, you know, make a few preset drift tracks which you could use, or you could use the open world. I mean, to be fair, you could probably get away with using the open world because it's a Horizon game and everything's legal anyway. So, you know, there's many ways you can do this, but I think having drift events set in Japan especially, you know, if the game was set in Japan, it would enable you to have drift events, and I think that's a really cool premise because you know, that's never been in a Forza game. You know, there's never really been drift events in a Forza game, not proper dedicated ones, and obviously being in Japan and drift culture, I think that'd be really cool. And I think having, you know, that kind of sense of mastering, it's easy to pick up but hard to master kind of thing would be really cool. You like having so like, you know, having it's easy to kind of get into, but to really get those high scores and get to those high points in the leaderboard, you're really going to need to push yourself. I think that's a really cool idea. I mean, a lot of people now in the Forza community, all they do is drift, me included. You know, when I go on Horizon nowadays, I usually drift and tune and that kind of stuff. So I think that in itself would be a really cool idea, and I think a lot of people would agree with me, to be honest. I mean, again, it's not been in Forza, and the community is basically crying for it. So if you were to obviously pick Japan as your location, that would enable you to do drift events, and you know, that would open a whole opportunity of things you could do. So yeah. Point number 2, drift events. Okay, number 2, I want highway battles, you know, to be in the game. This was something that I played a lot in Midnight Club LA, and I think mountain races in themselves are cool, but in addition to that, have highway battles. So, you know, you've got your mountains where you're drifting around, you know, it's all about precision and technique. But then you've got your mountain battles where you can just floor it, and this is where the supercars will come into their own. You know, the Aventadors, the Hurricanes, the 458s. This is where they'll come into their own. So you've got your kind of mountains where all the tuners lay and where, you know, all the other cars lay, and then you've got your muscle cars and your exotic cars. Well, you kind of got your exotics in the city areas, and then you've got your muscles on the highway. I think that'd be really cool if you could include some type of highway battle. I think this could go quite well. Obviously, right now, they've got kind of like a rivals mode. So if you come up against a car like a Drivatar, you can press X on your controller, and then you can start, like, you can initiate a battle. If you had something like that on the freeway, similar to how Midnight Club does it, or how Midnight Club did it, that would be really cool. I think that would be a really, really cool idea. It would also allow a lot more competition, because at the moment, you know, races kind of are getting a bit boring in amongst the community. You know, it's kind of repetitive. It's the same thing over and over again. So I think adding a lot of variety into the game could really help. And I think adding, you know, modes such as these drift events, the mountain battles, and the highway battles could really help. And you know, Tokyo in itself, like, obviously depending on where you go, I mean, you can go anywhere in Japan, but assuming you went Tokyo, you know, that's known. There's a few series going on, like TV series, like animes, that are actually known for those highway battles. So it's not something that hasn't been done already. I mean, Tokyo Extreme Racer, another game that was based simply off those highway battles. So, you know, it's something that has been previously done before, but I think if, you know, the guys at Playground Games can perfect it, it will really add some more functionality and more replayability to the game. Okay, my final point is it is Japan, you know, especially Tokyo, the main city. It's known for having bright lights, and it's known for being this vast, open city. It's a party city, Tokyo. Let's be honest, it's a party city. A great scene for Horizon. Horizon's obviously always been known about, you know, this huge festival that's going on. Imagine Tokyo, you know, with all these flashing lights, with all these Horizon banners. Imagine going through the middle of Tokyo and seeing, like, Horizon on a banner, you know, flashing in lights. That for me would be really cool. I think the overall scene generally in Tokyo could be really well done. You know, you had Colorado, you've done America, you've done Europe. Now to move over to Asia and to get, you know, Japan done for Horizon. I personally think it would be a really cool idea to move to Japan. You know, it's just the lights, and even in the day, it's really, really diverse. You know, you can do a lot of things with it. Maybe in the day, you know, things will become like. I personally believe Tokyo has it all. Japan as a whole has it all. Now, how I would do this personally, if I was running at Playground Games, I'd have the main area Tokyo, and that was where the main Horizon base is kept. That's where the main Horizon base is. And then you've got, say, 5 other mountain areas, and you've got freeways coming all around the city. So you've got your main Tokyo city, which is the first one, and then you've got 5 other little cities based around Tokyo. And then those 5 other cities also include mountains. So, you know, as well as having a mountain area, you can also have city races in that area. So you can bring back obviously street races and normal Horizon races and whatnot. So you're not compromising anything. And then obviously at the end you'll have one big race, you know, wherever that would be. Maybe that would be like a section of races. Maybe that'd be 5 races around all the mountains, and then one in the middle of Tokyo. It's up to you. But I think having something like that would be a really cool addition. Like, and what I mean by that last race is not like one huge race, like one full race between all the mountains. I'm talking about 5 separate races between each mountain, and you come into Tokyo for the final thing. I think that would be really cool. I think overall, Tokyo and Japan generally is the place for Horizon 3 to be kept. You've done America, like I've said, you've done Europe. It's time to diversify it again. You know, the UK could be a good place, but I believe Japan is the best place to, you know, feature to be featured in Horizon 3. The mountain passes in itself are beautiful. They're gorgeous. Some of the views you're going to be able to get are amazing. You know, the bright lights in Tokyo at night are going to look absolutely amazing. You can really use the Xbox One architecture to its maximum, especially at night when it's raining in Tokyo. Like, it doesn't get much better than that. I personally believe that is probably the best option you could go for. I mean, you know, you've got other options, no doubt, but I think Tokyo in itself would be unique. Japan itself, sorry, would be unique, and I think that's something that could be really well done, really well done. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If anyone from Playground Games is watching this, please take this into consideration. I genuinely believe these are some good, well-founded ideas which you guys could use in the future. And these aren't my ideas, these are community ideas. I've seen a lot of people suggest this kind of stuff. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video, where we shall be doing, I believe, oh, tomorrow's a Thursday, so I don't know what we'll be doing tomorrow, actually. We'll be doing something. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to smack that like button, subscribe, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.